Alright, y'all. Well, I'm back finally after like almost 2 weeks. Finally deciding to drop a new video. Last video did really good. I'm not gonna lie, got like 43 views, 41 views, so I was pretty happy about that, especially in a 2 week span almost. So I was pretty happy about that. But in today's video, it's going to be a little bit more different than the last one. It's going to be polar opposite, actually. I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. Today's topic is, who is the most overrated NBA team currently right now? Now, of course, we are in the off season and we're not close to preseason. Preseason, I think, will be somewhere around the end of September or early October. They haven't really released a preseason schedule yet. But all we do know is most of these teams are pretty much finalized. There's still free agents out there like Quentin Grimes and others that are still not signed yet. Jonathan Kuminga, Josh Giddey, those guys are restricted free agents. Except for Quentin Grimes, of course, he's unrestricted. But Josh Giddey and Kuminga are both restricted free agents. So, you know, obviously not all the teams are set yet. There's still trades to be made somewhat. Sign and trade deals, or, you know, Quentin Grimes is getting signed somewhere. But in today's topic, this team will not be making any moves just like that because they don't got the fucking moolah. They don't got the money for it. They broke.
Spare change, man.
And with the team that they have right now, they really don't have a choice but to just go and try to grab a championship this year. Now, in today's video, I want to be going over the definition of what overrated means, just like how I went over what underrated means in the last video. Now, overrated means rated or valued too highly, meaning you're overrating it, which means you're valuing that team or that person or whatever way too high for what it should be ranked as. Now, I wouldn't say this team is the perfect idea of overrated. I'm just saying it's the closest. This team is the closest thing to overrated. That team, in my opinion, would have to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, everybody's definitely going to roast my ass about this. I don't really give a fuck. I've looked over this team like 4 times and I just keep getting the definition of overrated in my head. I don't know why. I understand they won 64 games and only 18 losses last year. And at one point, I think they won like 25 in a row, 20 in a row, and they were just going absolutely insane. I know, I'm sorry. I just choose the Cavaliers because of their offseason moves, their trades, their signings, the people that they lost in free agency, and all that just comes together and makes an overrated piece. And I'll be going by brick by brick of the reason why I would say that they are overrated. Now, the first thing I want to go over is what is wrong with the Cavaliers. The first thing I would say is the depth. The depth worries me just a tad bit. Now, this team isn't filled with a bunch of like terrible players. This team is filled with a bunch of all-stars and, you know, defensive player of the year, you know, kind of guys and stuff like that. And the worry isn't the starting team. The starting team isn't a worry to me. The bench is what worries me the most. Now, I will get into the roster here in a minute, but I do want to just go ahead and specify why I think they're overrated. I'll name like 4 things. I'll probably say the depth, the coaching, the availability, and honestly, yeah, you know what? Nah, fuck it, 3. Those main 3 right there are honestly perfect for me. Now, I'm not going to be listing these guys in order from the roster, of course. I'm not going to be listing these guys in any sort of order. I'm just going to go ahead and just go over the guys that are on the roster, and I'll get into everything else here in a minute. So, of course, on this roster, you have guys like Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, DeAndre Hunter, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, Lonzo Ball. Then you got Max Strus, Sam Merrill, Craig Porter Jr., Jalen Tyson, Tyrese Proctor, Naquan Tomlin, Dean Wade, Luke Travers, and Salu Niang. Now that we've kind of gone over these rosters just to get an idea of the names that are on this team, I want to first go over the depth chart and how this team will go through the starting lineup and then the bench and then the reserves and all that other shit. Now, for looking at this team the way it was built last year, you would obviously go ahead and start these 5 guys, and then I'll go ahead and go onto the bench here in a minute. So first things first, at point guard, you would definitely put Darius Garland. Garland was a key, versatile point guard. He's not a great defender, but he will definitely get you at least a 18 or 20 ball almost every single night. Then you got Donovan Mitchell, who is one of the most key parts of this team instantly. As soon as he came from the Jazz right over to Cleveland, he immediately made an impact. This team needs Donovan Mitchell to go crazy every single year, and he's been doing that for Cleveland, which is why they've been in the postseason 2 years in a row. So yeah, Donovan is a perfect guy who can go out and get 25 every single night. Then of course at small forward you got the man himself, DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter is a versatile player coming from the Hawks. Great key player for that team. They added him completely last second. I don't remember who they traded him for. I'm gonna put it right here on the screen because I kind of forgot. That trade is a little foggy in my brain. But DeAndre Hunter is a great piece for this team. Can't stress it enough. He really got to play a little bit last year with the Cavaliers to get his chemistry up. But now that he has really solidified his role on the team as a star piece, or starting piece, not a star, but a starting piece, he could add some really good ability to this squad. Then you got the defensive player of the year himself, Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is a shot blocking demon. He is an interior guy that can go ahead and just block any shot that comes up to him. He's not a bad scorer neither. He's not great at scoring yet, but he's also not that bad. So having him on the starting five obviously is, without a shadow of a doubt, it's a thing. Then of course you have one of my favorite players, Jarrett Allen at center. Jarrett Allen is such a perfect piece for this team. You got two tall ass dudes that can just go in there and block shots. They got great rim protecting abilities, and Jarrett Allen being on this team is such a great piece for them. Now, like I said before, I'll go over it one more time. Darius Garland at the 1, Donovan Mitchell at the 2, DeAndre Hunter at the 3, Evan Mobley at the 4, Jarrett Allen at the 5. Now let's go to the bench. Now, how I think this bench will start off is very interesting. I think a lot of people obviously would agree with me. It's very obvious, of course. Lonzo Ball will definitely be the 6th man right off the bench immediately. Then, of course, the 7th man will be Max Strus, and then the 8th man will be Larry Nance Jr. Now, if they decide to run a 9-man rotation, which is obviously 5 starters and then 4 bench players, of course, then we have our 3 already. But the question remains, who will be the 4th or maybe even the 5th guy off the bench? That is a great question. I don't really know. That's where it gets shaky for me for the Cavs. If you're going to have an 8-man rotation, that's great, but you're just going to be running a Knicks simulation, honestly. I would just say the Cavaliers are going to have to run a 9-man squad. The problem is who's going to be that 9th man or that 10th man rotational piece. The 9th man, honestly, for me so far is obviously going to be Dean Wade. He's got many years of experience with this,
That's all, folks.
Damn. Cleveland Cavaliers squad. He's a veteran at this point. He's never really played bad, but he's never played really top tier bench minutes. He's always been somewhat okie doke. I think he can definitely get that 9th man. Now, if they want to get a little testy here, they could definitely try to get Sam Merrill onto the bench. He just signed, I think, a 4-year, $38 million contract, which is a 9.5 average, $9.5 million average every single year. So he's not great, but he's not bad neither. I think they kind of overpaid for him. Sam is not like a top tier bench player. He's never really been like a key guy from the bench. I thought Ty Jerome was that guy, and he was, but then he went to Memphis. So now they're kind of like, oh, now I guess we have to settle for Sam Merrill. Kind of blows my mind when guys like Monte Morris and I was going to say Spencer Dinwiddie, but my dog is on the Hornets now, so that's kind of unfortunate. But you could definitely go try to get Monte Morris or something for the same price. Honestly, Monte could guard the perimeter just a little bit better, and he can shoot the ball maybe not a bit better than Sam Merrill, but Monte can do a lot of things, and Monte's my dog. I'm a Nuggets fan. I'm sorry, bias, my fault. But then you have guys on this roster that like you just look at on the team and you're like, well, what is their role? What are they going to do? Are they going to provide some sort of key piece to the squad or what? Guys like Tyrese Proctor, Niang, the rookie that they just drafted, because Tyrese was drafted in the 2nd round first, and then Niang was drafted after Proctor as well in the 2nd round. So then you also have guys like Jalen Tyson, Craig Porter Jr. It can go on. And Naquan Tomlin. You have all these guys, younger guys, of course, that can play good. Obviously, they're in the NBA. But the question remains, do they bring any sort of value to the team with so many different veterans that can play well? One guy I wish they kind of would have re-signed was Javonte Green, because he's not a bad defender. He's not going to go out and get 15 or 12 every night, but he can get you like 8 points or 6 points if he really gets the ball in his hand off the bench, be it the 9th man or the 10th man, or he can just be a veteran guy that sits on the bench and then you put him in and he, shows out just a little bit. Now, the Cavaliers didn't really lose a lot in free agency. The only guy they really lost was, of course, Ty Jerome. He went to Memphis to get a bigger, backup role, of course. Guys that are in free agency right now for the Cavaliers are Tristan Thompson. He's, I think, 34 or 35 years old. He's just not going to play as good anymore. He's just a veteran guy that can sit on the edge of the bench and clap up the young guys. Whoa. Okay, my bad. Pause. Hype up the younger guys, of course, when they make a good play and shit. Imani Bates, 21 years old, gone. Like, a free agent now. I don't think anybody's reached out to him or anything. I think Imani's time in the NBA might have ran out unless somebody signs him to a two-way, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Chuma Okeke I think went over to the Euro League, I believe, and got a nice little contract. Good for him. He was on like 2-10 days with the Cavs, and I think they brought him onto the squad last second. And I almost forgot, of course, my dog Javonte Green. So like I was saying, they didn't really lose anybody from the starting 5. They just lost one key bench player, and then everybody else was just kind of like under, the bench and whatever, just playing reserves as veterans or younger players, of course. But see, now I want to go ahead and go over why this team will possibly fail when it comes to the end of the regular season or the playoffs. The first thing I want to say is availability. 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 Meaning being available there for your squad when they need you the most. Now, there's 2 players on this team that really, truly do worry me just a tad bit. Those 2 are Darius Garland and Lonzo Ball. Now, these 2 will cause a lot of problems for this team. Darius Garland, when I say availability, I don't mean in the sense of injuries. I mean, he's had injuries, of course, before. He was healing throughout the playoffs this past season, of course. But when I say availability, I mean being consistent constantly. He doesn't show up in the playoffs, respectfully. Like, he doesn't. I know he had that one buzzer beater and shit.
94 feet. Niang back to Garland. Darius Garland over the timeline. Garland for the win. Oh! Darius with the dagger has finished the Pistons here tonight.
And he did his thing, but Darius is not there for the playoffs hardly ever. I remember watching that series when they went against the Magic, and he got bullied. He got bullied. And I understand that was because Donovan Mitchell wasn't there to really help him out, but he still had Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, of course. I don't know. Darius doesn't really he just doesn't show up in the playoffs as often as I wish he would. Now, he's got a guy like Lonzo, though, on the bench, who's also not available. Ever. Fucking ever. I'm going to go ahead and calm down, because Lonzo is a great player, and I know what he can add to a team, especially off the bench. Getting Lonzo off the bench is such a privilege, because he can come off the bench and just immediately make an impact. Not necessarily by like shooting a bunch of threes and drilling them and shit, but like just being able to dish the rock out and being like, here, take the ball, go score. Let me space this court out real quick, and we'll go ahead and get an easy bucket. And Lonzo adds somewhat of a perimeter defense idea to the squad, especially off the bench, because Lonzo is a key player for this team, and he will be a key player to this team if they want to succeed later in the regular season or even in the playoffs. But that can't happen if Lonzo is not available. Now, Lonzo didn't play through 2022 all the way to 2024, and he didn't play until, I think, late 2024 when he finally made his debut for Chicago, and I think he hit a 3 in that game. Coolest thing I've ever seen.
The cartilage transplant. Here he is for 3. Good! There you go. Welcome back, Lonzo Ball.
But other than that, he's just not available, and if he gets hurt again, it's over. That's why Cleveland has to handle him with such care, because if they lose a guy like Lonzo, they lose a bench. Because who else is going to carry that bench? Sam Merrill? No. Larry Nance? No. Larry is there to grab rebounds for the bench and score a little bit on the interior and maybe hit like 2 threes a game. Lonzo is everything for that bench, and especially when you need those 1-2 jabs. Darius Garland is out a little bit in the regular season. You need Lonzo to come and step in. If Lonzo gets hurt this year, Sam Merrill will have to start some of these games, and Craig Porter will have to come off the bench eventually, and it's just not good. It's a very scary thing, and of course this is all a hypothetical, but if it doesn't become a reality, then this team can succeed. But if it does become a reality, then this team will possibly fail. Because that was the problem this past season, was they had guys like Ty Jerome and Sam Merrill coming off the bench, and they weren't providing that oomph that they really needed. Ty Jerome was getting fucked up. I know he had a buzzer beater as well, but it doesn't really mean shit when you're shooting like shit. And then Sam Merrill was, I think, benched sometime in the playoffs for Isaac Okoro. So it's just crazy to me. And that's another guy that they gave away, was Isaac Okoro. I almost forgot about him. But this team is destined for success if they can just stay healthy, avoid major injuries. If they can just, of course, get these players to sit out every now and then because of small injuries, then this team is destined for fucking success. But if somebody gets hurt on that bench or even on that starting 5, they're fucked. There's nothing that they can do. They don't have enough depth for that, and they have a lot of younger guys that are unproven. So when you have things like that are in consideration, this team needs a starting 5 like they do now, but they need bench guys that are supposed to come in when those starting guys are hurt and play some decent minutes. Like, for example, Lonzo played 35 games last year, started 14 of them, was averaging 7, 3, and 3. His lowest numbers of his career. But that was only because he's still trying to get in the swing of things, and trying to find that that player ability again, that confidence again. And I feel like the Cavs can help him just bring that out. Kenny Atkinson's a great fucking coach. I don't see why he can't just handle Lonzo with care and really go, hey, we need you for this bench. But if Lonzo doesn't show out, this team is going to be closed in. Because if you have a starting 5, that's fucking great. Denver, my team, we did the same shit last year. Great starting 5. But then you look at the bench and go, okay, well, it's Russell Westbrook and Payne Watson. And then who else? DeAndre Jordan? Bro, he's 37. Jalen Pickett still trying to find his way. Like, it's just the utter truth. I mean, like, it doesn't get any better than that. So you really need to focus on the bench. Like I said, Lonzo is a great player. I don't see why he can't do good, but at the same time, if he gets hurt or something like that happens, like it happened back in 2022 and then it took him till 2024 to play, this team is screwed because you need a bench to succeed. Now, like I was saying about Sam Merrill, he was averaging 5, 2, and 1, I believe, on 37% shooting from the field in the fucking playoffs. That is exactly what I'm talking about when you need bench players. Sam Merrill got paid $9 million 4 years this offseason in free agency. Blows my mind because I'm like, he just shot 37% in the playoffs. And he only averaged, like I just said, and you're going to give him a nice little bag? It beats me. I don't know. There's a lot of different bench guys out there, like I said, Monte Morris and co, that can really do way better than whatever the fuck Sam Merrill was doing in the playoffs. Like I said, I don't like to be disrespectful on this channel, but I'm just being honest. Like, Sam Merrill was not doing great, and they signed him to a nice little fat contract. And now you got Lonzo Ball also coming in. And it's like, you can't have both. You can't have both. It's either one or the fucking other. Like, it's either Lonzo plays great, Sam Merrill plays terrible, or Sam Merrill plays good and then Lonzo plays bad. Somebody's going to get paid and they're not going to be playing great. And I think that guy is Sam Merrill. And like I said, he'll probably be the 9th man or the 10th man. It doesn't fucking matter. He's still going to get minutes. And in those minutes, he needs to show the fuck out, especially for a team like this. Now, a guy that I think can really move past Sam Merrill is honestly Craig Porter Jr. I like Craig Porter Jr.'s game. I'm glazing. I don't really give a fuck. Craig Porter Jr.'s game is nice as shit. And I think Craig Porter can honestly beat out Sam Merrill for that 9th or 10th spot. I've seen him play before. I know he's never averaged above like 5 points per game or like 7 points per game. He's never really gotten a chance. But I've seen his gameplay when he gets put in last second and stuff like that. And he looks pretty solid. Now, for this team to really succeed, I would honestly say that Darius Garland needs to average like 18 a game. Donovan needs to keep averaging like 25 points per game. DeAndre Hunter can average like 13 points per game. Evan Mobley averaging like 16 points per game. And Jarrett Allen averaging like 13 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, and like 2 blocks a game. That right there is like a fucking dream team right there for a starting 5. And they proved it last year when they were going on that fat ass win streak. But off the bench, Lonzo needs to average like 11 points per game and 5 steals. 5 assists. Holy shit, 5 steals is crazy. 5 assists per game and a steal maybe. And then, you know, of course, Larry Nance needs to average probably like 7 points per game and like 6 rebounds per game and 0.5 blocks per game, 0.7 hopefully. And then you got guys like fucking, who else? Max Strus. I almost forgot about him. Max Strus needs to average at least like 9 points per game, hit like 2 threes in a game. Max Strus, that's a great fucking value right there. So the Cavaliers are really not bad. It's just they have a lot of guys that really need to be there for availability. Lonzo and Darius Garland, they need to show up when it matters the most. I would go into like their points per games and all that shit, but like the last video, I got a lot of complaints from people that I know that watched the video. They don't really want to hear all that, which is fucking weird because you would think that a lot of people would want to hear about stats. But just to say, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, DeAndre Hunter, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, those guys are all great fucking starting 5 guys. The problem is when you come upon the bench and you see the team that they really have off the bench, it blows your marbles away.
That's all, folks.
I don't know why I just said marbles. I was gonna say mine, but I'm dumb as shit. It really just blows your head off because it's like, who the fuck on this bench is gonna lead this team? Like, off the bench, like the Nuggets, we had Russell Westbrook last year. You know, the Spurs, I know Chris Paul wasn't a 6-man, but he was somebody that pumps up the team, the bench, the younger guys. You know, and you need somebody like that for this team. It is kind of scary to know that Lonzo is not available a lot and he gets hurt very easily, but he's not a leader. You know, he's not a top tier leader. He's a guy that will just go out and get a 12 ball every night possibly and throw some assists out and then go back on the bench and be like, all right, great job guys, on to the next one. Like, it's gonna have to probably be Larry Nance Jr., which is kind of crazy to say. He's probably gonna have to be that leader for the bench, but he's not gonna be the top tier scorer, of course. So I just wanted to go over that. I thought this topic was very fun to cover. I know it's kind of like a shorter video and it's kind of like a dumber down version of this, you know, the last video pretty much, because the last video was more in depth, I would say. But the Cavaliers are very fucking interesting, and I think this team is somewhat overrated. I've seen a lot of power rankings going around having the Cavaliers top 4, top 5, and I think they're more like top 8. I would honestly say that just because of, based off the depth, the bench. Adding Lonzo is such a great idea, but at the same time, he's the only guy off that bench that I'm really like, okay, if he were to play, he can make a great fucking statement for this team. But everybody else after that, it kind of goes quiet, except for Max Strus somewhat. But like everybody after Lonzo Ball kind of worries me. But with that, I do want to say Thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully I could post this video before it becomes 2 weeks that I've posted, since I posted it, excuse me. So so yeah, I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate y'all so much. I love every single one of y'all. Shout out to all the love that I've been getting on the last video. That was a long ass video. It took me fucking forever, but hope y'all enjoyed this video. It wasn't in depth or anything. It was more just like, hey, here's this information, digest it how you want. So I'll see y'all later, man. I love y'all so much. Peace out. I'll see you on the flip side. Shout out Naquan Tomlin.